Okay. Yeah, long time no record. It is now November 14, 1 a.m. Okay. So, saan tayo nag-leave off? Gumawa tayo ng automatic unlocking algorithm here. Right? Kailangan ko din maglagay ng guard for it kasi darating sa point na baka may a-attempt siyang pa-plant and hindi niya kayang i-plant. Right? Kasi hindi niya afford. So, gagawa tayo ng na WASD ko. Gagawa tayo ng mechanism doon. So, ito sa get what to plant, doon natin siya ilagay. Right? So, I do remember dito siya. Right? So, kukunin niya itong min item. Right? And kukuha siya nung yung first niyang kaya. Right? So, kung hindi niya kaya yon, sabihin natin, hindi niya afford. Right? We move on to the next item in priority. Right? So, yeah. So, gagawin niya, susubukan niyang i-farm to. Right? Yung main item niya. And kung hindi niya afford, right? I think it would be nice na mag-move siya dun sa next item na kaya niyang i-plant. Right? And then repeat. And then we will default to hay kung wala siyang ma-afford sa lahat. Right? So, what we'll do here is instead of kinukuha natin yung minimum, so sort na natin siya completely. Right? So, dito sa util, gagawa ko ng bubble sort algorithm. Right? So, in bubble sort, it's very simple. Right? So, bibigay tayo ng list. Right? Let's say gawa din tayo ng comparison function. Right? Papasa natin just in case gusto natin i-compare. No? And let's say gawa tayo ng reverse equals false. Right? So, gagawin natin if comp equals none, right? Is pala. Right? If comp equals none, i-default natin siya sa default na comparison. So, first element, second element. And then, nare-return lang natin is A is less than or equal to B. Right? Yeah. So, ito yung re-return niya. Right? Magtutrue to kung parang roughly sorted siya. Right? Although mathematically, iba yung meaning nung roughly sorted. Right? If comp is none, comp equals default comp. So, assign lang natin yung function na yan. Right? What we'll do here is actually kung reverse siya, essentially reverse lang naman ng condition na yun eh. Right? So if reverse, right, comp equals actually hindi. Kasi gusto ko i-transform itong function na to. Right? So, comp equals default comp. Okay pa to. Right? If reverse, what will happen here is bago tayong def, reverse comp. Right? AB. Return not comp. AB. Okay. Let's go with temporary comp muna. Kasi hindi ako sure sa memory reference kung makikip siya eh. Baka pag ni-redefine ko si comp, medyo ambiguous na siya basahin. Right? So may temporary comp tayo, assign natin siya doon. Right? If reverse, ganyan, else, right, assign na natin si comp sa temp comp. Right? Return not temp comp. Right? And then comp. Actually, hindi. Parehas lang naman yan. I-unindent lang natin to. Right. So, this sounds good. Okay. Ito yung initialization ng function natin. May comparator tayo. May comparator function. And then, kung reverse siya, essentially, i-reverse na lang yung result na yun. Next will be yung sorting itself. For I in range list. Right? And then gagawa tayo nested loop. Ganito yung Ganito yung bubble sort. In range I to list. Magpapakita ko ng graphic here somewhere. Right? Ng bubble sort. Mas madaling i-visualize, I would say. Right? So may nested loop tayo. Essentially, inner loop natin, binabubble out niya yung quote-unquote largest element niya to the right. List j minus 1. Right? Else, magko-continue lang siya. Right? And this will run for I time. So, dadaanin dapat lahat yan. And then, nire-return niya yung OG na list. Right? Ganyan. So, to test this out, gawa tayo ng if main dito. A colon is expected here. Ayan, gawin na natin siya equals none. The one argument of range, length ng list. My bad. Yeah, I am implementing bubble sort from scratch. Right? I could legit just reference it. Pero, syempre, we're playing the game here. Yeah, I think pwede natin ito i-rework. So, range n minus I minus 1 instead. Right? And what we'll do, instead of looking at the previous, it will look at the next. Right? So, j minus 1. Ayan. Yeah, napiprint naman siya. It seems may bug yung game. Alisin ko muna to. Okay, so try natin yun. That seems to work. Right? Pwede tayo magdagdag ng random numbers din. 9, 9, 9, let's say 100. Right? Okay, so that seems to work right now. Right? And yung pwede rin natin gawin is dapat yung reverse equals true. Pero this will not work. Kailangan niyang i-define yung pangalawang optional keyword eh. Right? Ayun no. Kailangan natin ibigay yung comp. So let's say none natin. Dapat magdi-default naman yun. And then magiging true yung reverse. Comp equals reverse comp. And then else natin siya dyan. Yeah. Okay. So that should work. And then finally, kung gagawa tayo ng sarili nating function, greater than b. So dapat magiging reverse siya. Right? Essentially same lang siya doon. You try to call something that is not a function. Right? Else temp comp equals comp. Right? Yun, nag-reverse siya na maayos. Okay, so we have a more general use nitong bubble sort. I can just keep this for now. Hindi naman yan ma-affect. So what we'll do here, dito sa get what to plant, gagawa tayo ng list of these. Right? So magdidict map siya. Pwede rin gumawa ng util dito. Gagawa ang quick utility def dict to list. So papasok yung dictionary dyan. List for item for key in dict. Right? List dot append. Nagagawa tayo ng func equals none. Right? If not func, this should also work. Much like yung equals none dito. Right? Func equals default. Right? So gagawa tayo ng def default. Let's say key and value. Right? And return lang natin yung tuple nun. Right? So if not func, magkakabago siyang stuff. May magkakasarili siyang default. Right? So list append natin yung func with the key and yung dict with that key. Just in case gusto na natin siya i-pre-transform bago natin siya i-append dun sa list. And then nire-return natin yung list. Right? So with this, gagamitin natin yung util. Naka-import naman siya. Right? Dict to list natin to. So cost list equals dict to list nung cost dict natin. Right? And kung quick print ko yung cost list. Right? And then naka if main naman yun. right? Oops, bakit may S yan? Play. Right? Naging list siya dito. Ngayon, susort natin siya. So, sorted, gagawa tayo ng comp, right? Def cost comp A, B. Kasi tuple yung kinukuha niya dito, right? So, i-return natin yung 1, right? Yung second element. Second element and gusto natin greater than B1. And quick print natin yung sorted cost list. So, if I print this, yan, nakasort na siya. So, ito yung greatest pala. Actually, gusto natin yung minimum eh. Right? Yun, 383, 451, 782, 2791. And magagamit pa natin to ulit-ulit. Itong mga bubble sort, dict to list. Diba? Ngayon, we would like to check kung afford natin mag-plant ng isang area nito. So, dito sa util ulit, actually pwede tayong gumawa ng bagong library. Nah, we can keep it. Def can afford, and then yung item and plot size, right? We will get ito. So, if yung current number of items natin is less than itong exact na directive na yun, that will work, right? So, is unlockable equals true, we will assume that first. Then, nare-return natin yung is unlockable, right? Is affordable is a better term here, right? So, for item in the cost dict, right? And, let's say the entity to can afford to plant. Actually, hindi, can afford. And then, pasok na natin tong si cost dict. Def can afford to plant entity, right? And then plot size. Ganun tayo na. Right? What we'll do here is cost dict is equal to get cost nung plant na yon, entity. Right? Nagagawa tayo ng if main. If name para lang for testing. Right? So return and the quick print can afford to plant, let's say entities.pumpkin, and then to plot size pwede natin i-default to none, right? If not plot size is equal to get world size squared, right? So yung buong farm kukunin niya, right? Can afford to plant. So kukunin niya to, kukunin niya yung get cost nun, yung cost dict, and then the dict map natin siya. Cost dict, pwede natin i-diretso dyan, dict map, right? Sadly wala tayong lambda functions, right? So sa normal na Python we can do this, and then lambda key value times plot size, something like that, right? Sadly wala tayong lambda, right? Pwede natin i-quick print yung cost dict for now. And then return can afford yung cost dict. Right? So kung pe-play natin yun, right? Ito, hindi mag-work yung tong lambda. So gagawa pa tayo ng function niya. So def multiply by plot key value. Right? Kasi ito yung tinitignan ko, by the way. And then nare-return lang natin yung tuple nung key. Actually, hindi natin kailangan i-return yung right. Hindi natin kailangan i-return yung key. Re-return lang natin yung value times yung plot size. And then we will go for multiply by plots. Something like that. And then i-import natin si util. Import all. Play. Right. Key. Key pala yung second variable. VK pala to. Ganyan. Yan. So, carrot daw 576 yung cost nung pumpkin. Does that reflect it? Right? So, let's go for the documentation. Ayun, plant cost 4 daw. 4 carrots. And yung world size natin is, that will be 144 times 4. So, yeah, 576. Yeah. Right? So yeah, it works, no? So kung tatry ko din tong si can afford to plant entities that let's say carrot, right? Bibigyan niya sa atin to hay, wood, and afford nga natin, right? If we will go for like a plot size of like 1,000, 10,000, right? Ito na, right? Ret has never been defined, right? Yeah, so if num items, alisin lang natin yan. Walang problema yan. Right? Is unlockable pala to. Gagawin natin tong is affordable. Hindi na siya affordable. Right? So, buti na lang tinest natin yung edge case na yun. We are sure na accounting works. What we will do here is pupunta muna tayo dito. Pwede natin tong ayusin. So, from accounting, import all. And then, we don't need this anymore. Gagawin natin si sorted cost list natin. I-append natin to sa dulo para meron siyang... Hindi, wag na natin siya append. So gagawin natin, alisin natin to. Right? We don't need this anymore. Right? So for entity, right? So pag pinalit natin yan. Sige. Okay, so pinalit na to, sorted cost list natin. Kasi mag-iterate yan sorted eh. So wood, hay, right? For item in sorted cost list, right? If can afford to plant, right? Kunin natin to. Entity equals yung item first entry, right? Yeah, can afford to plant, right? Yung entity na yon for the whole farm, right? Re-return na natin yung entity, no? Else magko-continue lang siya, right? So kung pe-play ko to, yan. So plant niya daw yung tree, right? Dahil dun sa wood. Otherwise, kung wala tayong afford at all, this will become, let's say gagawin natin itong 10,000. This will become entities.hay, right, for now. Right? Entities.grass, my bad. Right? Thousands, gawin natin thousands. Afford niya i-plant. Kasi wala ngang cost yung trees. Right? Walang cost yung trees. So, unahin niya si hay kung mas kailangan niya. Right? So, yeah. Another guard na I would like to set here is gagawa tayo ng bare minimum. Right? So I would like to keep a bare minimum amount of items for everyone. Get bare minimum if any. Right? If bare min, quick print, bare minimum needed. Yeah, kailangan niya daw ng 2,300. Right? So, yeah, I think this works well now. May magandang guards na tayo. So, una, check niya kung affordable. And pangalawa, check niya kung meron siya ng bare minimum na stock. Right? So, we can let this run. Alisin ko lang yung mga quick print. Right? Na hindi natin kailangan. At siya nag-plant ng wood kung kailangan niya ng grass. If bare min, yeah, return natin si bare min. Play. Okay, I'll see you in a bit. I-verify ko lang to kung umaandar. Okay, nice. Mukhang nakuha nga niya yung gusto niya. Kasi nag-plant na siya. Alright. Isa pang pwede natin gawin dito is cycle count. Gawa tayo na cycle count. And then let's work on refactoring yung navigation muna bago tayo tumuloy sa Cactus. Yeah, so ito yung current navigation library natin. So gagawa tayo ng staging. Right, navigation or like local environment. Yung catch kasi dito is kaya kasi mag-loop around ng robot eh. Right? Kung nandito siya, it's way faster na mag-south and west siya para makapunta dito kesa sa maglalakad siya doon. Right? So kung tetest natin yan, right, ito yung diagnostic natin. Right? So kung titignan natin gaano to ka-efficient. Right? So punta siya dito, punta siya sa edge, corner, okay pa. Kita nyo, nagtatravel siya na hindi naman kailangan mag-travel. Kaya niya mag-blink around eh. Right? And then yung pumunta siya sa center. Right? So tutuloy ko lang tong main. Saan si main? Right, so re-refactor ko to. Right? So, para ma-determine niya na mas worth it bumalik, right, mag-loop around, is kung yung distance is greater than yung half. Right? Yung half nung edge. Right? So, it's as if parang may radius yan dyan. Okay. Carlos from the future. Super over-engineered ng solution na to. I think one way that you could also do it is, kunyari yung point na pupuntahan mo, you will go west 10 times and you will go east like 3 times. Pwede mo yung pre-calculate yun, right, already, na parang, okay, it's either I will take 10 or I will take -3, right? And pwede mo na lang compare yung absolute value ng parehas and be done with it, right? Ito, it's a bit super over-engineered, but I'll show you anyway kasi it also happens to us. Right? Now we overthink this very simple solution. Right? Yeah, I'll let Carlos from the past take over this na. Now, once nasa labas siya ng radius na yun, it's just way better to just loop around. So what we'll do here is, ito palang get pos x, kumakain niya na cycle. So medyo mas mabagal yun na onte. If we call it every time, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it takes 1 tick to execute. So, pwede rin natin siyang i-pre-calculate kung ilan yung moves yung kailangan kesa sa nag-check tayo every time kasi naka-while loop siya eh. Right? So, difference in x and difference in y, yun yung delta x, delta y, right, will be get pos x minus yung target x. Actually, hindi. Baliktad. And y minus get pos y. So kung positive to, right, ibig sabihin yan mag-move siya north, right? Kung negative to, mag-move siya south. Likewise dito, mag-move siya east and then west. Kung negative to. Right? Now, if si dx is greater than, kasi let's say yung x neto nasa 11, right? And ito yung target niya nasa 0, right? Mangyayari 11 siya eh, na ayaw natin, right? So if dx is greater than yung absolute value, ay yung half ng world size, right? Half of world, get world size, ganyan. So if dx is greater than nung half of world, what we'll do is ma-minus na lang natin siya. Right? I mean, re-reverse natin siya. So in this case, if current x is equal to 11, so let's understand this, right? Target x equals 0, right? Move east once, right? Yung difference nila is 11. Intended 1 kasi mag-move east siya, right? Ito din, sabihin natin dito sa 8, right? Gusto natin pumunta kay 0 din. Same procedure. 8, 3, 4. So magiging 4 siya nun. What we'll do here is ma-minus natin siya with the world size, right? So let's go get this. Actually, assign natin siya to a constant here, right? Para hindi na natin to kinukuha. I do believe may gastos yun eh. Something like this, right? Replay lang natin si main. Para kinukuha na lang natin siya dito. From constants import all. Medyo marginal optimization lang yun, so don't mind. Okay, another thing to note as well is the other way around. Yung another case natin dito is current x natin is 0 and then yung target natin is 11. Right? Yung magiging dx na is magiging minus 11. Instead, yung intended dx natin would be minus 1. Kukunin natin yung sign, yun yung important. Una, absolute value natin to. Right? And then we get the sign. Dx is less than 0. Pos x, pos y. Oh, maganda dito. Sin x, sin y na lang. Right? So, kung less than siya, sin x will be false. So, kukunin natin yung sign. Right? Ngayon, if yung dx natin if yung dx natin is negative, right? Magiging negative din. And kung yung movement natin is positive, yung intended natin is magiging positive din siya. Does that make sense? Hindi, dx pala natin to dito, minus 11 pala siya. My bad. And then target x, 11 minus 0. Ganyan. And then intended dx neto should be going, westwards. Ito should be going eastwards para mag-reverse. Yeah. So I think this is much more correct, right? Okay. So, yung bagong dx natin will be yung absolute value ni dx minus yung world size. Right? And then this will be our new dx. Right? Ngayon, we can also change these na maging 1, 1, negative 1, negative 1. Or we can also just do this as well. Sin x, sin y. I also mag-divide to 0 eh. This is just good, honestly. Like, compute-wise, okay na to. So yeah, gagawin natin 1, 1, negative 1, negative 1. Right? That way, mo-multiply na lang natin to. So what will happen here is, for example, 11 yung current x. Right? And then target niya is bumalik. So kailangan niya mag-move ng east, di ba? 11 minus 12 magiging negative 1 siya. I-abs natin din yan. Alright? So magiging 1. And then yung sign niya, right? Dahil negative to, actually hindi. Kung negative to, sign niya will be positive. Right? And kung, by default ganyan. I think I switched it up. Right? Yeah, kikeep niya lang dapat yung sign. And then with this, kung 0, 11, yung dx nila will be just 11. Right? So that will be negative 1, magiging absolute. Right? So that will be 1. And then since positive si x, magre-reverse. Right? Yeah, so I think that sounds good. Pwede rin natin to i-try. Right? For I, so pwede natin i-discard to totally. In range dx, we will just move east. Right? So if dx is greater than 0, right? Similarly, with dy, i-wrap na lang natin to. Right. Yeah, buksan ko lang tong ilaw. East, north. Alisin na natin to. Let's try this diagnostic if it will work. So, you should go to the center first. Half of world size has never been defined. Half world size yung pangalan. Nagkamali na siya doon. Dahil di natin to ni north and south. Okay. Nice. Okay. Nag-move north pa rin siya. And sumobra siya sa south, I think. Okay, nalito na siya doon. Dapat hindi siya nag-move. So, ganun. Kasi dapat dalawang conditionals to. Right. There we go. And one more. Diagnostic check. Nice. 1, 1. Blink ka ulit dyan. 0, negative 1. Nice. Nice. Center. Okay. So that is actually really good. Right? That's a good i-replace na natin yung ating navigation here. Right? And yeah, continue lang natin to i-play si main. Right, so let's figure out etong si Cactus. Right. So tong si Cactus, essentially, yung pinaka-naive solution here is parang nag-bubble sort tayo. Pero horizontal muna. Right? And then mag-vertical tayo. Right? So that will mean it's as if ginalaw natin lahat ng mga largest values on the right side and then gagalaw natin pataas. Right? And that should consistently give us isang field na puno ng cactus na sorted. Right? Kasi yung value na sorted na cactus, right? Saan ba yung efficiency nun? Will be yung size nung yung size ng square and squared node. I mean yung kung ilan cactus yung harvest and then squared node. Which is not bad, right? So with a 12 by 12 field, that's 144 squared. Marami na tayong cactus dun. Right? So let's go for kung check natin yung itong si farmland, right? Ito meron tayong plant whole field and then pwede tayo mag-plant type nung cactus. So itatabi natin siya dyan, right? Let's say cactus here, right? And from farmland import na tayo, right? So from farmland import all, right? Def plant. So plant the plant cactus, right? And maglalagay tayo ng default args na none, right? Plant whole field muna nung entities.cactus, right? So plant all the cacti, right? And then ngayon, for every row, right, i-bubble sort muna natin, right? So for every row, sort cacti, right? So let's say for y in range world size, right? So that will be 0 to 12. Travel, right? Kukunin natin yung navigation. Import all. Which is why inayos ko muna yung navigation here. Right? So from navigation, import all, travel to point fastest. Right? So magta-travel siya dun sa y value na yon and sa x equals 0. So parang every iteration na nun mag-start siya dito pag ganyan. Right? And then mag-start na tayo mag-bubble sort. Right? So if measure nung east, right, is less than nung measure ng current, right, we will swap the two, right, and then mag-move siya east and then tutuloy na to. So gagawin natin to for x in range world size for row item. I doubt gagamitin natin si row item. And then for x in range, let's say world size minus row item, right? We can change this to j for now. Kasi once naabot na niya yung dulo, pwede na niyang ignore yun eh. Right? Yeah, so etong travel to point, lagi siyang babalik sa first. No? Move siya east. Move siya na east. Yeah, sounds legit. I think this should sort every row. And then gagawa tayo ng bago ng sort every column naman. Right? So, for x, and then ito magiging y. Right? And then x, and then sa 0. So, yung south row, siya mag-start. And then, check natin yung north. Medyo mabagal to, I would say. Dahil isa lang drone natin for a medyo large field. No? So, if main. So, puplant siya ng cactus. So magkukulay green yan kung properly sorted siya. Right? In this case, yung tatlo para sa kanya properly sorted. And then ito hindi na kasi mas maliit yung sa east. Diba? Na-plant na lahat. Lahat pala tinanggal natin tong print. Ang bagal ng print na yan. Pero I think nagpa-plant, nagsusort siya ng maayos here. Di sinabi ko anong size ng cactus. Sadly. Yeah, sounds about right. I will assume this works for now. Right? Kasi nababagalan na ako eh. Right? Before ko ituloy si Cactus, mag-sidetrack tayo. Let's go get itong si Sunflowers. Right? So, unlock ko si Water, Sunflowers. Maybe si Fertilizer and then yung itong mga mazes. Right? So, unlocks that watering. Unlocks that sunflowers. Right? Nababagalan na ako kasi sunflowers will improve the speed by a lot. Isa lang kasi yung drone natin right now. Right? So, this works. I do feel like it can be improved. Right? Pero right now, this works. Okay? Well, di ko pa na-prove sa inyo kasi super bagal. Punta lang ako kay navigation saglit. Alisin ko yung print. That is my bad here. Right? And then let's go for main. Go unlock that stuff. Right? So yung ating output. Kaya kailangan daw niya ng bare minimum na pumpkin kasi naubos nung... Oh yeah, actually before tayo mag-start kay main, i-clear natin to. Para lang fresh. Kasi laging off-center. Right? So sinabi niya, output. Yeah, bare minimum daw ng carrots. Okay, I'll see you in a bit. Kasi medyo mabagal pa to. I'll be back. Okay, I am back. Na-unlock yung sunflowers. Right, and yung watering. Right, yung watering, I will not bother for now. Balik lang natin siya, X. So si sunflowers, essentially what this will do is magpa-plant ka ng sunflowers similarly dun sa cactus. Kailangan mo mag-measure, right? And magre-return siya ng petals, right? So what will happen here is 7 to 15 yan, right? Sabihin mo yung pinaka-marami mong petals 14. Kapag hinarvest mo yon, yung 14 na yon, magkaka-5 ka. Right? Okay lang kapag may ties, right? Importante yung highest, right? Pero kung nag-harvest ako ng, sabihin mo 7, even if may 8, 9, or 15, right? Nag-harvest ako ng 7, hindi siya 5 times. So kailangan mo i-harvest yung largest number of petals. Which is pretty trivial na with yung na-setup na natin. So, for example, ito, meron tayong itong plant and harvest. Meron tayong return nitong do every cell eh. Right? And pwede natin siya i-return. Right? So, kukunin natin itong si pumpkins. Right? Let's make a new one. Right? Sunflowers. Right? Okay. And then what we will do here is ibahin lang natin to. Right? So, plant sunflowers. Right? So, ginagawa ni pumpkins here is nag-harvest and plant siya. Yeah. Sunflower. Right? Do every cell. Pwede natin i-return yung get pos X, get pos Y, right? And yung current measurement. Now we have a full field of sunflowers and get the grid of measurements, right? Actually, pwede natin to gawin dictionary kaagad. Yeah, so yung init natin will be, kasi meron tayong function, args aggregator init, right? So, wala tayong args dyan. Aggregator natin here. Sunflower ag. Then, initial natin is itong dictionary niyan, right? And what we'll do here is we will go ahead and gawa tayo ng init dic. Okay, so meron tayong initial dictionary, right? Para di ko na for loop, right? And then papasok natin yung init dic, right? Yung sunflower ag natin here will look something like dot append yung x and y, and then we will return the dict, right? Let's go sunflower dict, something like this. And then we can go ahead and quick print din natin to para lang makita natin, right? Plant sunflowers. And now we will iterate over all of these, right? So for height in range, we will start on 15 and we will end on 6, and yung increment natin will be -1, right? For chords in sunflower dic height, right? Travel to point fastest xy, and then unpack natin si xy, right? And harvest natin siya, no? And then we will go ahead and just return this, right? So try natin yun. We don't need these anymore. Plant sunflowers. Yeah. Clear ka muna. Let's play. And ayun na, may error na siya. Append. Yeah, took 2 arguments daw. Gawin natin siya explicit na tuple. Something like this. There we go. So yan, ito yung output. Right, so nagpa-plant siya ng sunflowers. And bumilis siya dahil may power na tayo. So yan, may 7, ayan o, naka-record na yung coordinates. That's good. So tinira nga niya yung mga maliliit. Right? Yung problem lang, I think may mga matitirang malaki pa din. Right? Kasi hindi pa tapos mag-grow yung malalaki kapag hinarvest natin. Right? So that will be a problem, right? And I know from experience it will be a problem, right? Pwede natin to play ulit. Let's see if mas mabilis na siya mag-plant dahil may power na. I know that will be a problem kasi na-encounter ko na siya before, right? So pwede tayo magdagdag ng maliit na delay para makapaghintay siya, right? Yung grow time kasi nasa 6 seconds So actually depende, iba-iba, medyo random siya. Pwede natin siyang pabilisin with water. No problem on that. Tingnan natin kung may matitirang malaki. Yeah, so far wala pa. Pero I will leave that in so we can see that problem later on. And pwede natin siya i-diagnose. Right? So far this works. Right? So sasama natin siya. Now, magsiset tayo ng bare minimum for power. Let's say, yeah, I would like to keep it like 1,000. Right? So, sorry. Items.power. Right? Let's say 1,000. Right? Or 10 to the 3. Para mas madaling i-adjust. Anyway, so i-re-register ko to. Right? Si items.power, set ko siya dito sa items.entities. Right? Entities.sunflower. Right? And yung reverse niya. Right? Entities.sunflower items.power. Okay? We don't need power to unlock, if I'm not mistaken. So, we can leave that there muna. Actually, we can also... Pwede ba? Yeah, wala siyang levels. So we don't need to put that there. So yun, kikip niya yung power at 1,000 lagi per cycle para mas mabilis. And re-register na natin siya dito. So si Sunflowers, we are good here. At least for now. Right? We can improve this later on pag nag-bug na siya. Lalagay ko to sa baba para di nawawala. Right. So from Sunflowers, import all. And then we will put that here. Play. Module with this name does not exist. Anong tawag mo dito? Sunflowers. Okay, mas mabilis na siya mag-plant. Right? Itong si Cactus, we really have no choice. Yeah, let's go plant one whole cycle niyan. So ngayon, mas mabilis na siya. Right? Kagaya kanina, bagal eh. Right? Okay. Talino. Naglo-loop around siya and then kapag nasa gitna yan, bumabalik na lang siya. And this will take a while, right? So I will fast forward this for you. Okay, so ito pa-vertical na siya. Right? Try to do a swap over the farm boundaries. That is not allowed. Okay lang naman yun. We can remove those warnings later. But for now, I just want to see it complete one whole cycle. Again, fast forward ko lang to. And yun, green lahat. Right? And bibigyan na lang natin siya ng harvest na ano dun. Harvest na command. Right? So we will go harvest. Right? Actually with this ayokong mawala yan kasi importante yan. So harvest natin yan. Yan. So 20,000 cactus in one go. Right? Kasi squared nun eh. Right? So harvest. What we'll do here is also travel to point fastest. Or, we could just clear it. Right? Dahil mag-start naman siya sa simula. Right? Kaganda nung clear, magkakagras ulit. Right? And dahil nag-harvest tayo ng cactus, it's empty farmland eh. So, I don't mind that. So, clear niya yun. Well, let's register this. So, si Cactus, may special, ano din siya eh. Right? May special na parang normalization. Right? So, if item type is equal to items.cactus. Right? So, yung whole farmland harvest nun will be yung world size natin squared. Right? Squared. Right? Kasi ito yung number of cacti. Right? Remember, nasa n squared. Right? If I'm not mistaken. Right? So again, rudimentary maths. Right? So yun, n squared with n cacti. Right? So, ito yung whole plot harvest natin. Right? And this will be divided by world size to get yung per plot harvest. Right? So, world size squared. Right? So, mathematics, this will become world size to the fourth. Right? Divided by world size squared per plot. Right? And this will become yung squared lang no world size. Right? So, naka-multiply siya by the square ng world size. Later down the line, kapag if di-divide natin yung farm natin into multiple chunks, kailangan natin iibahin tong world size. Right? Pero for now, that will work. Right? Wag to, per plot harvest. So, imagine mo, per cactus natin, sabihin mo 1. Right? May 1 cactus tayo. Right? So, when we harvest everything, that will be 12 times 12, 144, squared nun. Right? So, that's the whole plot. So, if we divide that by 144, mawawala yun. That will be 144 per cactus. Right? And to double check that, right? Yan, dumilim yung camera kasi nag-altab ako. 144 squared is indeed nasa 20,000. Right? So, yeah, malaki yung normalization na nagagawa ng cactus. Mabagal lang siyang i-plant. At least for now. Right? So, let's go check yung mga upgrades na pwede natin i-unlock with the cactus. Tong polyculture, I really don't mind this for now. So, dinosaurs, that will be nice. Yung maize, I'm also interested eh. Pero kailangan natin yung fertilizer. Right? Yeah, let's unlock these 3. Fertilizer, dinosaurs, and yung mazes. And I think I will leave that for the next episode, yung implementations dun. So, fertilizer, dinosaurs, and yung mazes. Let's also see ano pa pwede unlock. Mega farm. Yeah, that would be nice. Ito yung multi-threaded natin. Ooh. Ayun na. Naka-error ito saglit. Items to unlocks map. Weird substance unlocks that fertilizer. Ma-unlock na dapat yung mga to in a bit. Right? Actually, gagamitin ko itong fertilizer off the bat. Right? Para magka-weird substance tayo. Si fertilizer, how it works. Right? I think I still have a little bit of time. Pwede kong daanan saglit. Right? Kailangan kasi natin gumawa ng weird substance. And si fertilizer lang yung pwede mo kuhanan nun. Right now, we have 74. Right? So, ginagawa ni fertilizer, bibilisan niya yung grow time. So, ito, remove 2 seconds now from remaining grow time. Right? Let's go here. Saan ba yun? Ito, fertilizer. Nope, not you. This you. Okay. So, can make plants grow instantly, right? By 2 seconds, right? May side effect siya. So, may infect yung plant, right? And yung pag na-infect siya, kalahati ng yield niya magiging weird substance. Right? So, hindi natin makukuha yung full yield. So, na-infect na yun? Huwag nilay ko ulit. Hindi. Weird substance yung pwede mong gamitin. So, kapag hinarvest ko to, magkaka-weird substance tayo. Right? Okay, so kung mag-use item tayo ng fertilizer. Here. And then weird substance. Items that... And, oops. Nagka-achievement ako dun. Kasi never kong ginawa to in my playthrough. So yun, nag-spread siya ng ganun. Right? And, actually, that's way better than using the fertilizer. So maganda lang na may parang may ano tayo, may initial weird substance na bare minimum tayo and we can work with that. Right? No problem. Okay? So fertilizer weird substance, that works. Kung gagamitin ko ulit, magre-reverse lang siya. Right? Okay, actually in that case, what would be nice is every ilang cycles dahil dito sa main, right? Every ilang cycles, let us invest on weird substance. So, every 5 or so cycles, right, magiging weird substance cycle yun. And then gagamit tayo ng weird substance. Right? And i-integrate na lang natin siya with the functions that we have. Right? So, let's say here, ipapasa lang natin siya. Ganito. Right? Ngayon, with all of our functions, kailangan natin itong i-update. I don't mind muna kung ano yung coordinates. Importante lang naman tumutubo tayo. And with the upgrades that we have, for sure, tutubo naman tayo na ito. Right? So yun, items at weird substance. Okay. So let's try that out. Play. Ayan. May na-infect na siya. Okay pala na ganyan. Halos na-infect pala niya lahat except yung borders. And that is, di tayo gumagamit ng fertilizer. Ayun, daming weird substance na. Right, makakapag-unlock na yun ng mazes din. And that will also be on the next episode na. I think sagad na ako sa oras ko dito. Right. So yeah, I will see you in the next episode. Right, I hope you enjoyed this one. See you.